Welcome to Legacy Sips and Tips podcast with your geeky host, Lindsay Wheeler, where we talk about everything from death, preparing for your future through estate planning, life, the occasional breakup, entrepreneurship, general nerdery, and of course travel, snowboard, and always wine. Welcome to Legacy Sips and Tips with your host, Lindsay Wheeler, and today we're going to talk about realtors, real estate, and why estate planning is important for realtors. So you have got your real estate license like everybody else and their brother. What do you do now? Well, you should be offering your clients estate planning from the get-go. Yes, I know you're excited. You're going to sell a house. You're going to be, what is that? Selling the OC or selling Malibu or all these fun shows that we see on TV about these realtors and these high-end realtors in Beverly Hills and stuff. But the reality is you're going to be selling tract homes to families. That's probably the reality of it, right? It's very rare that you're going to be selling crazy houses and mansions. So with that, you can offer a service that differentiates you from the rest, and that is with estate planning. Everybody who's a realtor selling houses to people should be offering estate planning to their clients because it's a nice complement to your business, and it also helps show your clients that you actually give a shit about them. You want them they're just on a transaction right now that you're getting them to buy this house, you're getting your commission, and off they go. They're just a number to you. Oftentimes you like to do nice things for them. They are becoming your friends or they're becoming close to you because you're dealing with them on an emotional level buying a property. Usually it's their first home, maybe they're expanding with their family, they're doing a starter home, or maybe they're stepping up from there because they've had more kids or whatever it is, and you're finding this, forming this relationship with them. You give them their little fun closing basket or whatever it is, whatever you do to them to make them feel special and included. Well, you can do a step above that in offering them that estate planning and that education that, hey, they're spending a significant amount of money, of assets, their hard work, their career, if you will, on this home. This is their family home. This is where they're going to raise their children. They have these hopes and dreams and this thing. That's what you're selling them, right? Well, why wouldn't you want them to protect that? And that's how that estate planning comes into place, specifically or particularly if you are having your clients are newly married, they're starting their new home, maybe they just had their first child or whatever. That is a good way to be like, hey, I also have this information for you about estate planning. I'm not sure if you've thought about this, or you might think it's too early, or you don't have the estate or assets to do that. Because you've sold them a home, that they absolutely have the estate and the assets to put into an estate plan. So making sure that you can offer them that service or that education, whether you have it for them. Maybe you could do a bundle, like a pre-purchase bundle of the do-it-yourself option or the we do it for you kind of thing. We offer that. That's a nice compliment for them. Or you can give them the information that, hey, here are some resources, here's some attorneys I like working with in town that you have a close relationship with, or you have, offering like for myself and, another alternative to get your clients that estate plan set up. It just gives them an additional asset, if you will, that you care about them, you're helping them, you're thinking about their future, not just right now. They're just not a number to you. You're not just closing them out and moving on to the next person. You actually care about them and their future. So offering that estate planning is super important, and you guys should be doing it because it goes hand in hand with creating generational wealth for your clients that you're trying to help encourage them with, if you will. Another thing that you guys need to be aware about is that if you are buying or selling property or homes, that your client does have an estate plan in place. Maybe this is their second home. Maybe they've already invested in getting an estate plan in place and they already have a trust. Ask them, because oftentimes I run into myself is that I have clients who've just bought a house and their realtor never asked them. And so it gets titled into their name individually, but they had a trust. So now they're having to pay for another transaction, another recording. With the recorder, they're having to get somebody else to draw up the deed now to put their home into their trust. That's an extra expense that they don't need to do. So learn your clients. Ask them, hey, this is a big purchase. This is a big life milestone for you. Do you have an estate plan? Do you know what that is? Do you have a revocable trust? And sometimes your clients will say, yeah, absolutely have a trust. Okay, great. Let your title company know that so they can then title it directly straight into the trust, and your clients are not now having to post the fact, go ahead and now hire an attorney, get a secondary deed, and then getting it transferred into their trust. Don't do that. Again, be personable with them, make a relationship with them, ask about them, see what their situation is. Don't just assume that nobody has an estate plan, because I do run into that a lot where they're like, I don't know, nobody told me about this. Well, somebody should. Either it's you as a realtor, as you're the liaison for them, or their title company should be asking as well of how this should be titled. Do you have an estate? Does it need to go into a trust or not? So that's another way to add value for your client, is to making sure and asking those questions. So another value of estate planning and these revocable living trusts, or an LLC if they are an investment property, of course, always ask them that too, that if, hey, this is an investment property or a rental for them and they have already have their primary residence, again, adding value to them, get to know them, ask them, hey, is this going to be put into an LLC? Is this into your trust? Of course, with that LLC, it provides them that liability protection. So it's another added value that you understand their situation and that you're able to help guide them and give them the education that they may not know about, and then direct them into the right avenue, if you will. Maybe it's your favorite attorney you like working with, maybe it's me, maybe it's an online, resource, whatever it is. You can offer this for your clients so they know that you actually are invested in them and want to take care of them through this whole process. Another way is to ask them how they want this titled. Like, again, if they have a trust already, do they want it in their individual names? Or I've had some clients who have big purchases out of Tahoe, because that's quite a lucrative area now, where they want to have that anonymity so people don't really know that they're now buying this $5 million lakeshore home. Having that be placed into a trust where maybe the trustee is a third-party independent trustee, like a financial or fiduciary institution that's going to be that trustee, so their names are not listed there in any way, that they're purchasing it through that entity, if you will. Maybe it's Nevada Trust Alliance as trustee of the, Green Rivers Revocable Living Trust, or whatever it is, that their name's not on there or associated into that chain of title, and then they can do what they need to do with it from there. So again, offering that value for your clients of just figuring out their situation and offering them the education and the avenues to go forward with what they wish it to be done. Today's wine of the day is Saldo. Saldo. Guess where Saldo's from? It's from Napa. Shocker. I know. I'm on a really weird Napa kick for some reason. This is actually the Prisoner's Wine Company. I know everyone balks at that. Oh, it's Prisoner. They're so sold out. Whatever. This wine is their mid-tier to lower wine. It's a really fantastic wine. I really like it a lot, actually. It's their California Zin. This is a 2018. It is made by Prisoner, so you know it's going to be solid in quality. Again, it's like their midday drinker, their midweek drinker, if you will. It's not a crazy high-end anything that you're going to go to steakhouse with. This is, hey, you got some burgers on the barbecue. Let's have a nice little Zin that's going to go along with that. So this is that wine of the week. So another time that you guys might deal with an attorney or deal with people like me is through that probate. So your client did not get this put into a trust. They did not have a mechanism for it to transfer outside of probate, and now you're doing a probate sale. Many different things that happen during the probate time that you as a realtor need to be aware of. And this is kind of a niche for you guys, that if you're good at selling through probate, attorneys will want to work with you and refer to you, because it can be a little bit difficult depending on the state or jurisdiction. But here in Nevada, there are mechanisms of how we sell a house through that probate process, through that court confirmation. One is that if it's just appointed as an individual, there's no independent authority, then, as you may be aware, that house, if you're going to sell it as a realtor, you have to let them all know, the buyers, that, hey, this is a probate asset, this is a probate sale. With that, there will be that, great, you have a buyer, they want to put fair market value on there, but now because the attorney who did the probate did not ask for independent authority, you now have to go through the court process of affirming that sale. With that, how that works in Nevada is that you will show up with your client, the buyer who's going to buy this property. You as a seller are going to be there as well, as representing the estate essentially for this transaction. You go in front of the judge, and then multiple outside people can come and bid that house. They can outbid the buyer that you have secured. That sucks, right? Then you can be outbid all of a sudden, that some investor comes in and is like, nah, I'm going to order, offer 10K over. Or your buyer's like, oh man, I thought we had a price of $350. Why is it going to $370 now? Why am I at $380? So they might be marked out of that way. So that is another way to help them through that. With that, if they have contacted you ahead of time before they're dealing with the attorney in the petition, the attorney can ask for independent authority through the Independent Estates Act. And that is a specific type of authority that is given to a person through the court, that they do not have to go through that court confirmation for the sale of real property. It is a nice thing to avoid for clients, frankly, that all they have to do, instead of going in front of the court and doing a bid or an auction, if you will, for that property, now we're saying that we've given them independent authority to sell this house. We do not need that court oversight, because we trust them to sell this at fair market value or whatever they're going to do with it. And from there, we just have to give notice. We file notice with the court. We give notice to the beneficiaries that they're going to sell this house, what they're going to sell it for, and when they're going to sell it. So that's more easy for you and your buyers and your sellers, if you will, of knowing that if it is with independent authority, that price that you guys have agreed upon, as long as it's fair market value, is going to be honored by the court, unless a beneficiary has a really big issue with it, which typically they don't, because you've already had that appraisal come in and we know that it's fair market value. So that is another way to help clients, because apparently that, obviously they're going to be dealing with a death, they're going to be emotional, they're maybe not thinking the right way, and then you as an advocate for them and helping them through this process and giving them that information to ask their attorney, hey, are we asking for an independent authority? If not, why are we going through the confirmation sale of this property? Is there an issue? Is there a reason why the attorney's doing that? Letting them know so they're educated, and you're giving, again, that additional added value to your client, to making sure that they're set up. And so for you guys on a personal level, you guys are hustling, you're building your business, you're doing a good job, you have all your classes and your certificates, of course, you're marketing, you're probably spending a shit ton of money and hopefully making a shit ton of money, which is great. And you guys don't have your estate plan in place. So how are you able to tell your clients that they should have it in the place when you yourself don't? So making sure that you are set up, that your hard work, your business, your industry, your life work, or whatever you've been doing is set up for your loved ones so they can avoid that probate process and avoid having to get another realtor like yourself and go through this process for them. So a little bit of preventative, getting that estate plan in place. Again, of course, we offer very affordable rates. We have the whole gamut, up to do it yourself for $250, all the way up to the concierge holds your hand for $24.50 if you want to, or getting an attorney who will do it for $5 or $6 grand. It's a little bit of money up front. I know it seems like a lot, but man, it'll save you and your family and your loved ones so much on the back end. So, you've done all this education, you've done all this work, you've got all your certificates, you're hustling, you're working, you're putting all this money and investing into your business. Why don't you invest into yourself and your family just a little bit as well? So just to recap for you realtors out there, this is a realtor episode that, again, you can create a lot of added value and a lot of information that you can give to your clients to help them through this process. It is stressful buying a home. It's emotional, of course, and you can give them that added value by saying, hey, I really care about you. Let me know about your situation. Do you already have an estate plan in place? If so, do you want that titled into your estate plan or into your revocable living trust so you're not having to do a duplicate title after the fact? Or conversely, do they not have an estate plan in place? Hey, I've got some resources. This is a really important thing to do. I know you might think that you don't have enough assets or an estate to do these things. It doesn't necessitate ponies, yachts, and chalets. You've now purchased a property. I'm helping you facilitate that purchase. Hey, this is a way to protect your loved ones down the future and get this in place for you, your kids, your heirs, your loved ones. So lots of offerings that we can help you with, and if you guys need more education or more information on how that happens or some resources to give to your clients, please reach out to me. I'm very happy to help you with that. And of course, when you think of death, think of me. Thank you for listening to this podcast. If you found value, please like, subscribe, and share. And be sure to follow me on all the socials at Sips and Tips with Lindsay. And of course, you can always go to my website, sipsandtipswithlindsay.com, to find more information about estate planning, business, snowboard, travel, and of course, wine. As always, we have to get the legal stuff out of the way. I went to law school, so you don't have to. However, we have to read the special disclaimer that I am not a practicing attorney. I am not your attorney. I am not offering any legal advice in any content or any episode. All content is for your information and educational purposes only. It is not a substitute for seeking your own legal advice from your own attorney or other professionals such as a CPA or financial advisor. I cannot give legal advice and do not offer any legal services or legal advice, but I do offer some fun and educational content for you to enjoy.